Hineni mamtir koez mochor borot kovet. Mis koez mochor, Rashi says. Sora do srita bakoisel, meram simen Moshe Rabbeinu in front of the kosel, ושתגיע חם לכאן, ירד הבורת. Just like the Malach Mer Srita in the kosel, when Yitzchak is going to be born, by the boret also. And what is the reason for that? The Oitzros Tlolim bring down, the Choyra boret comes when you have a rainy day, and the sun doesn't shine. The sky is full of Anonim. But the Nes was a clear day, and the boret did not come from the Anonim. The boret came all the way from Shomayim. So Nes Gadol. In this Makkah, Vayet Moshe's Mateu al Hashomayim, Rashi says, Hashem the Midrash Ago, Hikbiu HaKadosh Baruch Hu leMoshe lemalo min Hashomayim. Something that did not happen in any other Makkah. Because Eretz is Teva. Shomayim lemalo min HaTeva. Over here, the Makkah's boret was Eish Umayim Yachat. How is that possible? But Pederech HaTeva, it's impossible to show that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is lemalo miderech HaTeva. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu took Moshe Rabbeinu lemalo min Hashomayim, al Hashomayim. The Makkah's boret there was Koilos Elokim. Sometimes says Choser, sometimes says Mole. V'medagdik in the Psukim is mashma that there was no boret in Eretz Goshen, but the kolos were in Eretz Goshen. Everybody heard those kolos. I wanted that the kolos should go away from Mitzrayim, but should stay in Eretz Goshen. He asked the partial kolos should go away. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Mole, all the kolos going to go away from Eretz Goshen and from Mitzrayim. That's what says Beloshon Mole. At Makkah's boret, Moshe Rabbeinu picked up his hands and he didn't say anything. The Partos Yosef explains, Al-Pi, Shulchan Aruch Simen Tuf Kuf Ein Bo, Siv Yud Aleph, Ein Mispalelim Al Roev Geshomim. If there are a lot of Geshomim, you don't mispal should stop. Because Geshem is Abrocho. The Mogen Avrom in Simen Tuf Ches Siv Koton Dalet, Beshem de Levush. The first day of Pesach, for Musaf, you should not say, they should stop saying, Esen Talumot Lebrocho, Mashu Veruach Umorit HaGeshem, because that's saying, don't be mispalel for a brocho. Just say, Sem brocho, but don't say, stop being mispalel for a brocho. If he said Moshe Rabbeinu was Poiris Kapov, picked up his hands, I didn't say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, stop the boret, because the boret has Maim, and Maim is a brocho. By Makkah's boret, Moshe Rabbeinu has to go out of the city. Ketzeisi esoir efros kapai. So Rashi explains, because the city was Meleyo Gilulim. Only by Makkah's boret we find this, not by any other Makkah. What is the reason for that? Is the kasha from the Daz Ekenim Balei HaToisves, the Ponim Yofos, the Chassam Sofer, the Netziv. There are few terutzim of this kasha. The first teretz from Balei HaToisves and the Ponim Yofos, that the Avodah Zorah from Mitzrayim was the behemoths. The behemoths are usually out of the city. When Yosef brought his brothers together, it's a zoyim for the Mitzrayim to eat together with the Yidden, because they eat behemoths. But this Makkah's boret, everybody brought the behemoths inside the house, not in the Sodeh. So Moshe Rabbeinu had, for first time, to go out of the city into the Sodeh. Mashenkin in the previous Makkahs, into the city, not by the Sodeh. This is the first teretz. The second teretz is from the Ramban. He says that all the Makkahs he went out, but in this Makkah's boret, Pharaoh wasn't able to hold the noise. He asked Moshe Rabbeinu to stop it right now. I should be able to talk to you. Moshe Rabbeinu told Pharaoh, no, I'm getting out of the city, just like by all the other Makkahs. This is the second teretz, from Yuchas to the Ramban. Third teretz is from the Chassam Sofer, Al-Pi Mogen Avrom, Orechaim Tzadik Dalet. This that you're not supposed to mispalel in a ir melea glulim. That's when you have another place to be mispalel, because you could be mispalel in the street. Velo yafsikuhu over drochim. But if you cannot be mispalel in the street, then you could daven in the city, even though it has glulim. By Makkah's boret, nobody was in the street. There were no over drochim, so Moshe Rabbeinu was allowed to go outside and to be mispalel since everybody was home. This is from the Chassam Sofer. The fourth teretz is from the Pardos Yosef. Moshe Rabbeinu went out of the city because the city was Melea Glulim. Now that Paro said Shema Tzadik, it sounded like he was mevatel the Avodah Zorah. So Moshe Rabbeinu could say it right over here. But Moshe Rabbeinu knew that the bittul from the Avodah Zorah from Paro was not belev sholem. Melo, he had to go out of the city. Matanei Osher. Ha-pishto be'haseoro nukoso. The pishto means the pishtin, the begodim. That was the main parnosa from Mitzrayim, begodim. Haseoro oviv, v'hapishto gibol, but achito and the kusemes doinuku, yafilos heino, because they were too young. Achitim and the kusemes were too young. The Posik says seoro, chito, and kusemes, missing two. V'chamishu minei dogon, A matzah has to be von 5 minne Dogen. Chito, Seora, Kusemes, Shifon, Shiboles, Shuel. And the Pasuk over here only tells me 3 out of 5. And the answer is, in Masechta Chalo, Perek Daled, the Mishnah Beis, Seorim and Chitim, Atad Mitztaref. The Gemara Pesach in the Avlamet Heyamad Aleph, Shiboles, Shuel, and Shifon are min Seorim. Kusmin is also min Seorim, they also min Chitim. And Kusmin is Mitztaref, also with Chitim. To the Melo, the Pasuk is Mitzfarish, Zelechut, Vezelechut. Akas Borot is Keneget Lo Sinov. The first thing is destroyed all the begodim, and Tznius, Ishtin, and the Esh betoch hamayim, Merumus of the Chamimus, the Yetzer Hara, and the Mayim is the Taharu b'mikvah.
Anything that hinted at subversion, including music. And Shostakovich spent much of his adult life torn between trying to write the music he wanted and fearing being taken away to the gulags. I think you have to actually live in that kind of situation to understand how much courage it took for Shostakovich to write much of the music he did. To be sure, he wrote the occasional piece to keep the authorities happy. Some of his film scores come to mind. But he also wrote some of the most amazing music of the 20th century despite official censure. Pieces like his string quartets and many of his symphonies. Here's another taste of Stepan Ratzin. In it, the chorus are singing, "The bells are droning over Moscow. They are leading Stenka to the place of execution." Music by Dmitri Shostakovich. I don't speak Russian, but it still has a completely unique feel when I listen to it. Like the language was designed to carry ideas of great weight. In this next section, in many ways the crux of the piece, Stepan Ratzin is being led to the beheading platform. He looks at the sea of featureless faces around him and says, "There was a distance and height in those faces, and in the morose eyes of free men. It is worth bearing it all without tears on the rack, on the wheel, if sooner or later faces will sprout on those who have no faces." Ratzin is saying his pain is unimportant as long as it leads to freedom for the oppressed. In the end, Stepan Razin is executed. That's not a surprise, but there is one more at the end. Razin's disembodied head rolls on the ground and keeps rolling, still alive, eyes open, challenging the peasants one more time, and slowly the peasants, the oppressed, begin to understand. And with this victory, the head lying on the podium begins to laugh at the Tsar. That was the ending of the execution of Stepan Razin. The CD also includes a couple of other works by Shostakovich, something called Five Fragments, they're more like working short sketches for pieces he composed later, and a piece called October, one of the last orchestral pieces Shostakovich wrote. It commemorates the October Revolution. Russian history, and Shostakovich is very much a part of it, is an amazing thing. It's filled with poverty and oppression on a scale that few people in North America can understand. They've lost literally tens of millions of people to wars and tyrants. Yet their culture, whether it's literature or dance or music, sometimes has a luminous, almost transcendent quality, and an unshakable bond to Mother Russia. Shostakovich spent much of his life battling oppression of his own government, but his belief in the Russian people seemed unshakable. Music by Dmitri Shostakovich. All of the music in this podcast comes from this one CD. It features the Seattle Symphony and Chorale and bass baritone Charles Robert Austin, all conducted by Gerard Schwartz. The CD is available through fine record stores, online retailers, and through download sites. The Naxos catalog number is 8.557812. If Shostakovich were alive today, he would be turning 100 this coming September 25th, and he'd probably be amazed by how his country has changed. But I suspect he would still be challenging those in authority. I once read that a free press is important because they speak truth to power. Living in a state with no free press, Shostakovich used his music to do the same thing.